Hello, and welcome to Beyond the Classroom, a closer look here at those at WPS. I'm joined today by the one and only Sahil Patel. Sahil, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
All right, first question. Where were you born?
Orlando, Florida. I've been living in Florida my entire life. I'm a fan of the heat. I love the warm weather here in Florida. So yeah.
What was your childhood like?
Childhood was great, especially growing up in Florida. The beach is about 30 minutes away, so I had a lot of fun times going to the beach, hanging out. My parents are directly from India, so that made a little awkward barrier, here in the U.S., especially for me being first generation. But it was a good childhood overall.
Tell me, your parents are from India. Tell me more about your family.
My parents are from India. I have two older sisters along with an older brother. I am the youngest of four, so I was bullied a little bit growing up, which kind of put a damper on my childhood a little bit. But other than that, hey, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
Well, tell me more about your childhood. What were some of the things you liked to do when you were younger?
I had a big interest in reading the New York Times as a child. I really thought it really just brought me out, really, gave me a good exposure to the world and what was going on around me, which I think really what built me to the person I am today. I also enjoyed baking with my mother. Me and my mom are very close. I'm a mama's boy personally, so that really helped a lot, build our bond together.
So you're mama's boy, right?
Of course. Love my mother.
If there's one thing you remember specifically about your childhood, what would it be?
It's definitely waking up on, Christmas morning and going downstairs and not having a tree, but there being presents on the floor in the foyer. That's one thing from my childhood that I thought was hilarious because, we're in the U.S., first generation. We don't celebrate Christmas, but there are always presents on the foyer. It's just, there was no tree, just presents, which is, it was kind of weird, but hey, it's a lifetime memory.
Do you have a childhood hero growing up?
Childhood hero would definitely have to be Gandhi. Gandhi's he's always been there for me through his biographies, his books, and his proverbs have always been really great openings for my mind, but not only my mind, but my soul.
What brought you to WPS?
Well, technically, I've been here since birth. I've seen this school grow. The school opened in 1999, and I think I came here in 2000. So it's definitely been a long journey. I've seen the school go from portables to actual buildings.
Tell me about the evolution of WPS. Now, what is it like being almost an original student of the school? What is it like seeing where it is now?
It's kind of weird, to be honest with you, because if you look at the school back then, especially an eagle view from the sky, it was a bunch of little portables. And now if you look at it, we have buildings, a gym, a pool, a full baseball field, full facilities. It's like an athletic haven, So it's a little, it's kind of crazy just to look around and walk around and be like, wow, this is, look how far we've come as a school and as a family. So.
Do you have a favorite subject here in school?
Favorite subject, definitely have to fall under social sciences, probably be economics, maybe a little bit of history. Two favorite classes, I think. I thrive mainly in economics, which is what I want to do in the future, so it really is one of my favorite, most heavily focused on subjects.
Do you have a favorite teacher?
Personality-wise, I do love Mr. Cohen. He is the man, Mr. Cohen. I've had him for 2 years now, and he's just been a crazy guy.
Now, about sports, you're big into athletics, and you are part of the two-time district champion soccer team. Tell me about your experience with that.
Personally, wasn't a big fan of soccer. Did not like soccer as much as I thought I did, but the people I met and the friends I made on that team were lifelong. There were a lot of great kids. The coaching staff is amazing. Coaches, not only did I learn rules about soccer, but rules I could carry on for the rest of my life, and my work ethic and how I would portray, further teammates and acquaintances in my life. So it was a really eye-opening experience. Although I didn't enjoy the sport as much, the family members and friends I made was lifelong.
Last year you were part of the district champion team, and this year we got all the way to the regional final. What was it like being able to be part of that game?
Oh, that was a heart-striking game, and like I said, I wasn't a big fan of soccer, but hey, getting a championship ring, a state ring wouldn't have been a big deal. I wanted the ring, man. I wanted the ring. So getting to that next step was a big part of me. Hopefully next year we can go and overcome our regional game and go to states next year.
We all want the ring.
Yeah, we all want. That's all we want, right?
Your main sport is track, as many people know. Tell me about track.
Track came to me, I think, when I played football. Being 110 pounds, trying to play football didn't really succumb my freshman year too well. I tried again sophomore, it still didn't work out too well. So I ran track, got some decent numbers, and I was like, hey, why not? Let me give it a try. If that can push me onto the next level in my recruiting process and help me get into a better school, why not?
Oh, being that is your main sport, do you intend to go beyond high school with track?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just trying to build my resume, like I said, and have that help me, push further in the process in which maybe I could get to a better school in the future. So if this can help me get into a better college, why not? So hopefully, I do follow that path and I will be playing college sports.
Now, there are rumors around about your abnormal workout schedule. Tell me a little bit about that.
All right, so I don't want people to think I'm crazy or weird in any way, but yeah, I do. I wake up around 4 o'clock every morning, to eat almost nearly 2,000 calorie breakfast. I finish doing that, then I go to the gym every morning, and I have staggered workouts throughout the different days of the week. On game days or meet days, I don't work out, but it is a little hectic at 5 a.m. in the morning. A lot of the parents look at me and they're like, "What the heck is this kid doing here? This kid's a weirdo." But yeah.
Do you have any preferences of where you'd like to go to college?
Mainly up north. I'm looking at a lot of Tier 1 schools. We had a person who graduated from Windermere Prep go to Carnegie Mellon, which is one of my goals. Wesleyan in Connecticut, and maybe even Emory are my top threes.
Now, do you have any jobs? Talk about your first job, or?
I did internships for companies such as American Management Services, Jasmine Hospitality Finance, Universal Studios Finance. But I work currently throughout the year. I trade stocks, so I don't know if it can be considered a job or a hobby of mine. It is my source of income. I really do enjoy it. It's something I thrive in. Like I said, I really like economics, and that really kind of helps me kind of gear myself for the future and what I want to do when I'm older. So.
How's your portfolio?
Portfolio is doing good. It is, I started with a $5,000 loan I took from my dad, which thank God is fully paid off. I know it's not like a big amount, but it was especially when I started my freshman year. My portfolio is now getting to a good amount of money that I'm proud to say that I've made myself. But I'm more of a short-term investor, so I do like to save my money. Some of my money goes into a retirement fund to save for the future. I'm trying to do that now, so when I'm older I can retire at a good age. But I do make sure I save money for myself to have fun now too. So.
Tell me about your first car.
I drove a 2000 Infiniti QX4 that had 300,000 miles on it. My car was handed down to me from my dad. My dad was like, "Sahil, listen, I'm going to give you a first car." And I was like, "All right, sweet." I'm thinking like, yes, like I'm gonna get one of the cars my dad drives, and he brought that home. And I was like, okay, at least it runs. First day I drove from here to Sanford, and it broke down on the highway. As I was accelerating to 60 miles an hour, the car just shut off.
Interesting.
So I pulled over on the side of the road, and this is the first experience I had with a car, and I thought I was going to cry, because the first time I'd ever gotten a car, it just shut off, and from then on I couldn't go over 60 miles an hour in that car.
Being a new driver for your first car, what's that experience like, having, being stuck on the side of the road with,
man.
Probably your first couple times driving?
It was scary, especially like the first time it happened. I got on the side of the road, I'm hanging out, I'm chilling, I'm like calling my dad, and a big Charger pulls up behind me, and a state trooper, and he gets out of the car, and I'm like, oh God. And apparently where I was pulled over wasn't even the right regulation area to be pulling your car over, and I told him my situation. He was like, "Listen, son, I could issue a ticket." And I was like, oh man. So not only did my car break down, I can't go over 60 miles an hour, I almost got a ticket from a state trooper, which was the scariest thing, because this guy doesn't gonna listen to anybody. He deals with criminals all day, people speeding on the highway all day, so I didn't think he was gonna listen. He ended up being a nice guy, and he was like, "Listen, I understand it's your first day." I showed him my license, like, I just got it. Like, it's literally brand, it's still warm from the printing press. Like, come on, man. So he was like, "All right, you're fine. You're good." But it was definitely exhilarating, because the first day, and I'm not gonna lie, that when I was going down that highway, I felt pretty cool. I was like, "Oh yeah, let's go on my own now." Like, "Hey mom, oh wait, you're not there."
Tell me about some of your hobbies.
Hobbies, I do like I like going boating with my friends. Like, living in Florida, so it's usually really warm down here majority of the year. I definitely enjoy boating a lot. I like going wake surfing. I like going to the beach a lot. I'm a big movie guy. I like seeing movies with my friends on the weekends, and I love playing golf.
Do you have a favorite movie?
Favorite movie, there's just a lot to pick from. I think Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps is probably one of my favorite movies overall, because it's just, like I said, it's a lot of business involved, and I think that's one of the things that when I was younger, the original movie is what got me into what I want to do now. So.
Do you have a favorite vacation place with your family or friends?
My dad owns a hotel in Miami, and so that's one of my really favorite vacation places. From a young age, I've actually been a lot of places around the world, you know, internationally, but you know, not all the places I can go back all the time. But we usually go to Miami a lot, so I do love Miami. It's a great place.
Now, if you could pack your things and go anywhere right now, where would you go and why?
I'd probably go back to New Zealand. I went to New Zealand with my parents and my brother and my sisters, and I just loved it. It was the nicest place. The people were great. The environment's great. You know, the nightlife. You know, just the day life. Everything was awesome about it. Like there wasn't one part about that vacation that I wish that would never happened.
Now, there's probably an undeniable fact around WPS that you are, in fact, the class clown. What is that? How does it feel to have that role?
You know, it's okay. It's kind of nerve-wracking because when teachers find out, like, oh, this kid's a class clown, you know, I don't want them to be like, Sahil, stop misbehaving in class. But a lot of teachers take it pretty cool. You know, they let me do my thing, let me act out in class a little bit sometimes. You know, as long as I get my work done, which is what the important thing is. But you know, I always get it done. But it feels good. You know, I'm trying to make high school, which is usually for a lot of kids really stressful. I'm trying to make it a little lighter on them. You know, try to make it fun. You know, high school you spend 4 years of your life here. You know, why not make it a good 4 years, which is what I'm here for. I'm trying to make sure kids are going to school smiling instead of frowning.
Which predominantly to the question, where do you get your energy from? I think a lot of people would like to know.
Oh man, all right. I honestly, it's just there. It's just the drive. It's the motivation. It's just, you know, I am a people's person, and you know, I do live for other people. I want to make other people happy and make myself happy, and I feel like the only way I'm going to do that is with a lot of energy. And I'd say, hey, eat a lot. ATP energy, I guess. Other than that, you know, I can't really answer that. It just comes natural.
And finally, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years, hopefully in you know, the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. You know, sitting in New York, that'd be nice in 10 years. You know, with a wife and kids. So hopefully.
Well, Sahil, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to talk about your life beyond the classroom. Appreciate it.